Welcome back to Dave Knows Wrestling, and on today's episode, I'm going to talk all about... On today's episode, Dave knows the injury era. It's no secret that a lot of wrestlers are getting injured in the WWE as of late, and unfortunately, that trend doesn't seem to be going away. Now, I'm no doctor, and nor am I playing one on TV. However, as a fan, I do have a few suggestions that I think would actually help with the litany of injuries that are going on. And why does a fan's input matter in this situation? Well, it's all about risk versus reward. It's all about the danger currency versus how much you're going to get in return out of fan enjoyment. If it's not worth doing, then there is no reason to actually put anybody's health on the line as a result. And with that being said, here's my list on what I think needs to go away in order to end the injury era. Number 5, Tope Suicida, La Plancha, the Suicide Dive. Anything that involves someone jumping out of the ring onto someone from the outside. Look, I don't want these moves banned or anything like that. I'm not saying we have to stop it completely, but I will say it happens every show, over and over again, multiple matches, every time someone is going to go to the outside and someone's going to just jump at them. It's a very high-risk maneuver, and you know what? I will give you, the crowd pops for it. Now, it doesn't matter if people do it all the time. The potential for injury is really great, and the potential injury itself could be really horrific. And when we're oversaturated with it, sooner or later the crowd is going to get bored with it. So this is something I want to see slowed down significantly, just so we can at least preserve it to only do it when it counts and not unnecessarily harm anybody if we don't have to. Next up, shoulder to the post. You see this constantly. A guy is going for a spear into the corner, his opponent moves out the way, and his shoulder hits the ring post from the inside. As far as I know, this move doesn't actually hurt a whole lot of people. However, it is unnecessary. First off, once again, it happens way too often. And even though this really isn't that dangerous of a move, and on top of that, it's there to replace more dangerous moves, my problem with it is that who cares? What's the big deal? It's a non-move. It's not something that's really important. So its risk may be low, but its reward is so much lower. So low that I think we should just cut it out because there's no point in doing it. Next on the list, moves to the turnbuckle. I think they look great and are very effective. And yes, I'm on the Bret Hart side of the line, and I'm really against the buckle bomb. And yes, I understand that Jim Cornette is right, and Tyler Black spent many years in Ring of Honor without hurting anybody. But the reality is, you took out the starch from the Universal title win from Finn Balor right off the bat, and on top of that, Sting, man. Sting. Do these things happen? Yes. Is it sometimes a two-way street when someone gets injured? Of course. But it doesn't change the fact that moves to the turnbuckle are fantastic, but they really are not utilized well at all. They're not finishers, they're not even signature moves, they're just kind of things that happen. If a buckle bomb or exploder suplex into the turnbuckle could finish off a match, I'd have no problem with it. And once again, I'm not saying we ban this, because I'm actually against banning moves. I think if two guys are professionals, they should have the creative freedom to perform the kind of match they want. However, they should be told to really limit their abilities and save it for when it counts. So risk versus reward, yet again, just not worth it. Now this one's an important one to me because my dad actually thinks this is one of the worst things you could do in professional wrestling, and that's any move to the apron on the outside. I don't know what's been going on lately, but we've been seeing this a lot. But the commentators actually aren't lying to you on this one. The outside of the ring actually is the hardest part of the ring. We're seeing DDTs and suplexes and drops done on them all the time now, and there is no reason to do that kind of thing. Do we appreciate our wrestlers actually being tough like Terry Funk and Mick Foley? Absolutely. But we don't actually need them to go out there and prove it constantly, and moves to the apron are most certainly one of the biggest risk versus reward problems we have. For the most part, the crowd is never really going to understand what you're doing just for our entertainment, and we're not asking you to go through that for our entertainment either. And yet again, done few and far between, it can be very effective. I mean, just look at when Sami Zayn won the NXT title and Kevin Owens powerbombed him onto the apron. It looked fantastic. It was done really well and it took Sami Zayn out of commission for a while. That's the kind of thing we should use it for. However, when you just see a tag team match and someone falls down on the apron and yet they get up in 2 minutes and they're fine, what was the point in doing it? And finally, the biggest thing that I think would actually end the injury era is cut down the wrestler schedule. Allegedly in the WWE, you wrestle 200 days out of the year. That's what I've been told. Between the weekly shows, the house shows, and pay-per-views, these guys are wrestling a lot, and the reality is, it's just not that necessary. First off, I think we have way too many pay-per-views, and with the brand split, it seems we got even more. And on top of that, I can't believe we actually still have house shows. Yes, I get it, Vince McMahon stands to make a lot of money from house shows, but still. So while there is a great fiscal reward for it, there is a lot of risk. How come in other companies where the guys don't wrestle as much, their injuries are a lot lower, even if they have a higher paced, more impactful style? Now that we have a lot of Ring of Honor guys entering the WWE, now the style has changed. It is a little rougher, it is a little tougher, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it becomes a bad thing when these guys are forced to wrestle way more than they should. Exhaustion, fatigue, and plus the fact that I heard they don't really have time to rehearse matches anymore is also a problem. Certain things just shouldn't be done on the fly, and if you do it, it shouldn't be a surprise when people get hurt. Lower the schedule and let these guys have time to heal. It's the decent thing to do, even if it hurts your pocket a little bit. But that's my list. Now, what did you guys think? What do you think will cut down on the amount of injuries that they have in the WWE? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and to check me out on patreon.com. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, this has been Dave Knows. So those are my thoughts on the injury era, and if you like this video and you want to check out more, you can go ahead and click this one right here. This one is all about whether or not wrestling actually is a sport, and you might be surprised at some of my findings. Also, I have right down here the Monday Night Wrong. It's more of a sitcom type of show that I have on my channel. This particular episode is all about whether or not Hogan was better as a good guy or a bad guy, and you get to watch my editing team hammer this out and argue amongst themselves. And to all my supporters out there, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. You guys are great keeping the show going, and I can't wait to see you next time. And also, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again, and this has been Dave Knows.